everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Bit of disclaimer, I'm filming from my camera, so I may be looking in this direction just because that's where the viewfinder is, and I may also be looking down at times because I took notes on my phone. So let's get into the video. Today we're going to be talking about length retention for natural hair. You may feel as if your hair isn't growing, but it probably is growing, you just aren't seeing that length. So let's get into how to change that and keep every inch that you grow. First things first, let's talk about the difference between hair growth and length retention. Hair growth begins at the scalp, and on average your hair grows about half an inch every month, that is 6 inches per year. And length retention happens at the ends of your hair. If your ends are breaking off as fast as your roots are growing, the length will stay the same. So if you feel as if your hair isn't growing, it likely is, it's just that it's breaking off somewhere along the strand. This is what I do to retain length, so you can also incorporate these tips in your hair routine. Tip 1, moisturize and seal. Moisture is the foundation of healthy hair. Dry hair equals brittle hair equals breakage. If you're not moisturizing your hair, you're gonna have more breakage. Think of your hair as a plant. Most plants need water to survive. Moisturizing your hair comes in 2 broad steps: adding moisture and retaining that moisture. You need to moisturize and seal that moisture that you've added in. I always start with a water-based conditioner or leave-in, or just plain water to moisturize your hair. Then I seal in that moisture with oil, butters, or even hair grease. People moisturize your hair by doing the LOC method or the LCO method. To be honest, I just see it as moisturize and seal. You can seal your hair with shea butter, Jamaican black castor oil, avocado oil. And this locks in moisture and prevents the moisture from evaporating. You don't want to lose all that hard work of you moisturizing your hair for it to not even stay. You need to seal in that moisture, lock it in. This all depends on your hair needs. So for example, if you have finer hair, white oils are usually good for finer hairs and low porosity hair, such as jojoba oil. Whereas if you have thicker hair and high porosity hair, you may look into heavier butters, cocoa butter or shea butter. Also hair grease as well. I've been using my homemade shea butter mix. Here are the list of different types of oils and sealants that you can use. When I moisturize my hair, I also focus on the ends of my hair because they're the oldest parts and the driest parts. Also, the frequency of moisturizing your hair depends on your moisture cycle. So the moisture cycle is basically how long it takes for your hair to require rehydration and sealant. You can monitor this by experimenting. Moisturize your hair on Wednesday, see how long it takes for it to be dry again. To know if your hair is not moisturized, it will feel more rough, it will look dull, and it wouldn't have that much bounce. If it feels or sounds crunchy when you touch it, that's a sign that it needs some water. Another tip, drink plenty of water, because as much as you want to put water on our hair externally, you also need to hydrate from the inside. When you drink water, you're hydrating those hair follicles. Tip number 2, low manipulation and protective styling. You need to limit how often you manipulate your hair. Keep your hands out of your hair, leave it alone. Do your hair less often, so like if you have your natural hair out, do it maybe once a week. So after wash day, put it into a protective style and leave it. Obviously moisturize it if you need to, but don't manipulate it. Don't keep changing the style, because over manipulation can lead to breakage, because again, length retention is all about minimizing breakage. Constant combing, detangling, styling can cause unnecessary breakage. So opt for low manipulation styles such as mini or chunky twist, loose buns, low buns. I love wigs for protective styling, especially when you do it properly, because protective styling is not just about the style, is it actually protecting your hair. I like glueless wigs because they protect my edges. You need to protect your whole hair, not just the middle part of your hair. I love my frontals, but I can only wear it for a day. I can never sleep in a wig. I just like access to my scalp. I have to do a lot to maintain it as well. I like glueless wigs because you can literally take it off, moisturize your hair, put it back on. Half wigs as well are coming back in style, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it, especially the ones that matches your natural hair texture. It just means less worry about, oh, is my lace showing? I'm a girl that loves experimenting with my hair, so I understand. You just have to be careful and make sure that those styles are benefiting your hair as well. And when you try wigs, just be mindful of the combs that come with those wigs or the clip-ins, because You don't want those combs to create tension on your hair, especially on certain spots on your hair. Give your hair breaks, because keep putting tension and pressure there, it's going to lead to traction alopecia or just breakage, bald spots, things that you don't want, something that irritates the scalp. Be careful. The list of other protective styling. Any protective hairstyle that allows you to access your scalp is great. Thumbs up for that. Also need to be careful with tight hairstyles, high ponytails, tight braids, anything that would harm your hair follicles. You can even see, I'll insert a picture over here. If you're getting your hair braided, make sure to tell the braider to not make it tight, because you don't want to go home with a headache. That is not normal. That's a sign that it's tight. It's not good for your hair follicles. Tight hairstyles that make you feel a heartbeat on your head is not normal, especially when you finish and you lay down but you still feel the braider braiding your hair. Oh, I gotta let it marinate. But it hurts when you laugh, smile, sneeze, look up, blink. That's not normal. Be gentle when installing different styles. Installation and removal of the protective hairstyle are both important. Also, don't leave the protective style in for too long to avoid matting and excessive shedding. It really depends on your hair, but I would say no more than 2 months. Being realistic, you just have to learn about what your hair can tolerate. And like I said, taking down your hair is very, very important. That is where majority of breakage happens. If you're taking down mini twists or even braids with added extension, moisturize your hair with water or even oil just to make it a bit slippery. Makes it easier for the takedown. Avoid soaking the tangled hair with a lot of water, because that exacerbates the tangling and creates more knots and tangles. Because when your hair is wet, the individual strands become more susceptible to tangling due to the weakened hydrogen bonds and swelling of the hair cuticle, making it easier for strands to grip and become tangled, especially if there's product buildup and if matting is already present. And again, take care of your edges. Take care of your edges. Take care of your edges. I'm not trying to get my baby hair snatched. Thanks very much. These protective hairstyles are useful if you're maintaining them properly and ensuring your hair health. This one is hard for many people, but it's essential. Trim when necessary. Cut out those split ends, nuts, fairy nuts. Cut them all off. They are fake friends. If your ends are split, they're dry, knotted or rough, they will tangle and break, causing more damage. They're not gonna give you any benefit. The more you hold on to them, the more they're just gonna travel up your hair shaft, and that means you're just gonna have to cut off more hair. It just does not serve any purpose, and it only hinders your progress, so just cut them off. Trimming isn't cutting off your hair's progress. It is about protecting it. A lot of people think, oh, if I cut off my hair, it's gonna... Hair care is more important than hair length, because when you care for your hair, then the hair length comes with it. That's one of the benefits of caring for your hair. So worry about your hair health first before the length of the hair. You don't need to trim it on a regular. You don't need to trim it every 6 weeks. Just trim it when you see damage. Make sure if you're doing it by yourself, I usually do it by myself, I would suggest using a sharp hair shears, not any regular scissors, because those can cause frayed ends. You need the proper hair scissors. When your hair is damaged, it makes it more difficult to detangle because of all the knots. Stretching your hair can also reduce the amount of split ends and knots, because if you think about it, a person with straight hair less likely to have knots in their hair because it's straight, whereas our curly hair likes to mingle and tingle together. They like to become best friends. That would create more knots because they rub against each other. Because of our natural hair structure as well, it makes it harder for sebum to actually go down the hair shaft because it has to keep making different bends. So that means hair is getting less moisture, which leads to more split ends, more breakage, more knots. I recently bought elastic string, looks like that, because I'm trying to get into African hair threading. I've seen people wear it as a protective style, but I'm going to use it more for stretching my hair without heat. There's so many ways to stretch your hair. The main thing is to actually separate your hair. So even putting your hair in mini twist is stretching your hair, then leaving it in its natural state. Like, so sectioning your hair, braiding it, twisting it. You can also use heat. If you're going to use heat, I would suggest using low heat and don't do it as often, and also be sure to use a good heat protectant. And that leads me to tip number 4, gentle detangling. This is my favorite part to talk about because a lot of people do not know how to detangle natural hair. Whenever you detangle your hair, you have to detangle it gently and you have to have a lot of patience. This is why people say, oh, natural hair is high maintenance, it takes long. It does take long, and that's fine. Just like other things in your life takes time, same as your hair. You have to be mindful about how you detangle your hair. Whenever you comb, brush, touch your hair, treat it like your baby. Treat it like it is silk, because type 4 hair is actually quite fragile. When I detangle my hair, I always detangle it when it's damp or saturated with a conditioner that provides a lot of slip. I usually use homemade flaxseed gel. I've seen people also use chia seed gel or aloe vera gel, and those are all homemade. But you can just use a good old conditioner. Make sure to read the ingredients to know if they actually provide slip. You can use a wide tooth comb. I usually use a tangle teaser. Don't always use it, but I'm getting into it because of how much it really detangles my hair. I've seen a lot of people say that combs are not really made for natural hair. I can see their point, but if you use it properly, you can actually achieve good results while retaining length. Before I use any hair tools, I always finger detangle my hair. I spray my hair with warm water to open the cuticles. When I say I use flaxseed gel, this is usually on wash days. Wash days are usually when I detangle my hair. I limit how often I detangle my hair. I got a big bag of flax seeds. I made it into flaxseed gel. Very easy process, so cheap. Apply it on my hair and I finger detangle for like 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on how tangled my hair is. I prefer finger detangling first because your fingers can actually feel through the knots, whereas a comb you wouldn't know, and you can actually cause more damage. And I feel as if it is properly tangled, that's when I go in with my tangle teaser or wide tooth comb, or even my easy detangling comb. Whichever tool works for you, just something that is good for detangling hair. And I start from the bottom of my hair, slowly, gently, make my way gradually to the roots of my hair. Work in sections as well. Don't detangle your hair all at once. That is not even possible. I usually do 6 sections, and then once I section my hair, detangle it, I twist it up. That prevents it from possibly tangling with each other. Also, don't ever detangle your hair when you're upset, when you're tired, when you're angry, or when you're in a rush. That increases the chances of you being rough, because tugging leads to breakage. This is why I only detangle my hair on wash days. Do my detangling, put my hair in the style that I want, and then leave it onto the next wash day. I usually have mini twist on because I'm trying to, again, retain length. Really limit how often you detangle your hair, maybe twice a week. Detangling your hair on wash days can be boring and very tedious. I always put on a good show. It feels like self-care for me. I'm actually not bothered. Just set a day out of the week for my hair, and it doesn't have to take all day. Without adding mini twists, it probably takes me 2 hours to do my whole wash day if I really concentrate and not get distracted. I was going to mention African Pride pre-shampoo is a good product to use if you're trying to detangle your hair. It really melts those knots. They have good ingredients and it also smells amazing. So that's my second option, especially if I don't want to make the flaxseed gel, if I'm feeling a bit too lazy. Tip number 5, scalp care. Healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. This is kind of more into hair growth tips, just as important. Keeping your hair clean by washing it regularly nourishes your hair and allows moisture and good hair treatments, which prevents breakage. This kind of ties into good moisture / hydration regimen, because it starts from wash day. So whenever I wash my hair, I like using gentle shampoos. Remember that shampoos opens the hair cuticles. After you shampoo it, add in a conditioner. I always deep condition. That deep conditioner penetrates into the cuticles and basically moisturizes your hair. I like moisturizing shampoos because it gently cleanses the hair without leaving it feeling stripped or dry. I like using conditioners that are rich in moisturizing ingredients such as glycerin, aloe vera, nourishing oils as well. So like I said, I love deep conditioning, which is linked to moisturizing your hair. Deep conditioning replenishes deep moisture and strengthens the hair strands and also maintains elasticity, therefore minimizing breakage. I usually do it once a week when I have my natural hair out. It also depends on my period cycle, because if I'm on my period, I obviously can't step out of the shower, deep condition with a heat cap and then go back in. You should at least deep condition every 2 weeks. But again, depends on your hair. I have to say depends on your hair because everyone's hair is different. I deep condition with water because that activates the product to actually work, and I use a thermal heat cap. That heat allows the product to penetrate into the hair more effectively. This is very good for people with low porosity hair, but people with high porosity hair can also use heat. You just get that added benefit. If you don't have a heat cap, you can also use a plastic bag wrapped around a damp warm towel. You can also use a bonnet blow dry attachment. You can also use a hooded dryer. I also do a hair scalp detox by using apple cider vinegar with my Indian healing clay mask. I do that when I feel as if there's a build-up, so anything that clarifies the hair every 6 weeks, or just depending on how much product build-up you have. Finally, these are some extra tips that I do to make a big difference in my length retention journey. I usually put a satin or silk bonnet, scarf or pillowcase because cotton dries out and damages your hair. Sucks it all up. I'm gonna stick with my silk bonnet and scarf. I also use a microfiber towel, or you can also use a t-shirt to dry my hair. I don't usually dry my hair, but it's when it's like literally dripping. And microfiber is good because it means that it doesn't snag on my hair, therefore it leads to less breakage. Protein treatments are amazing, and I think they are slept on. People talk a lot about moisturizing your hair, moisturizing your hair. Don't fall into the trap of moisture overload when you over moisturize your hair. It has to be a balance. Protein treatments help strengthen hair and reduces breakage. This is especially important for high porosity hair because of the gaps that it has in the cuticles, but low porosity hair will also benefit from protein treatments. You shouldn't do it as much if you have low porosity hair. Again, this is all based on the characteristics of your hair and how your hair feels. This is the product I use for my protein treatment. I do protein treatments when my hair feels weak or brittle. Protein treatment is amazing because hair is made of a protein called keratin, which gives it strength and elasticity. Daily manipulation and exposure to certain elements can weaken the hair's protein structure, which leads to breakage. Protein treatment helps to fill in the gaps and the weak spots along the hair shaft, which adds strength and prevents breakage and even split ends. Protein treatments also support curl definition. I've noticed this because when I did my protein treatment, curls were so defined. I've never seen my hair that defined before. I recommend doing it every 6 weeks, or again, based on when your hair needs it. Another tip is Ayurvedic hair treatments and herbal tea rinses. I actually bought so many different herbs from Amazon. They include herbs such as amla, henna, fenugreek, and others that I can't pronounce. They're very, very beneficial because they're used to nourish and strengthen hair, and it reduces hair loss and also balance moisture, prevent breakage, and improve your scalp health. I love drinking green tea, but I also love it for my hair on wash days. Green tea contains a powerful antioxidant, which is EGCG. I can't tell you what it stands for. That has shown to stimulate hair growth and also reduce hair shedding. The caffeine in green tea also helps block a hormone called DHT, which is known to contribute to hair loss. Beforehand, obviously, I prepare my green tea, put it in those hair containers with a little nozzle. I'll pop a picture here. Shampoo my hair and then just literally pour it on my hair and let it sit for like 5 to 10 minutes. But I usually add my deep conditioner and just get out of the shower, let it deep condition, and then go back in and rinse my hair properly. I've actually noticed minimum hair shedding since I've started doing my green tea herbal rinse, and I've been doing that for a while now. I can't even remember when I started. Honestly amazing. And that is my length retention regimen, guys. Remember, length retention is all about consistency. If you stick with these habits, you will definitely see progress. It's all about patience, it's all about consistency. The relationship you have with your hair represents the relationship you have with yourself. So make time for you and don't feel guilty about it. You make time for other things, but not yourself and your natural hair. Come on, romanticize your hair care routine. Hair care is self-care. And definitely do not compare your hair journey to anyone else's. Your only competition is yourself. So focus on small daily habits and changes that will ultimately make a difference in your hair. You don't have to take in everything and do it all at once. Put up your own regimen at your own pace so that you don't get overwhelmed or worse, start to hate your hair or resent it or even give up on it and think that, oh, caring for type 4 hair is hard. It's not hard, it just takes time and it just takes a lot of patience. Let me know in your comments what's your biggest struggle with length retention, and tell me what tip worked best for you. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. You stay to the end. Lots of love for you. See you guys in the next video. Bye.